Every year, proud owners of vintage and classic cars get together for countless meets and rallies, like the Classic Days at Dyke Palace. They've polished and tinkered all winter and can hardly wait to hit the road. But all too often, vintage car owners value looks more than safety, and tires are far down the maintenance list. But the tires put the rubber to the road and take enormous strain, often for much longer than is safe. The potential consequences can be demonstrated on a test track. Porsche regularly puts tires of all makes through their paces, tires for their newest generations and for the many older Porsches on the road. It's the only car maker to do so. Porsche test driver Dieter Röscheisen says this car has older tires on it with only 7 millimeters of tread. Some think that's enough, but it's not. Every year, a tire loses more traction. That's very noticeable in wet conditions, when the front axle can't hold the car's direction. In a curve, the car goes forward and can't be steered. The only way to guide the car is to let up on the gas to regain some control on the front axle.
Mit dem Gaspedal bestimmen. Das heißt, ich muss vom Gas runtergehen, dass das Auto einigermaßen mit der Seitenführung an der Vorderachse aufbaut.
The wide steering angle that results can lead to disaster if the rear axle loses traction. The driver won't be able to compensate through the steering. Then a wipeout is close to inevitable.
Und dann ist eigentlich der Abflug vorprogrammiert. Hinzu kommt noch.
And even beyond that, as soon as the driver hits the brakes, the wheels lock. Older vehicles don't have anti-lock braking systems, so the driver has to be gentle with the brakes. Even then, the front axle may still lock up. Then the car will skid in the direction it was going. A tire has to meet the highest standards to be Porsche certified. It has to meet 33 criteria 100%. That applies to tires for new as well as for older models. Porsche's goals are the greatest possible customer satisfaction and best driving experience. Hardy Strobel says Porsche-approved tires are marked with an N. Their website also lists approved summer and winter tires for both current and vintage models. The approved tires usually cost about the same. Porsche test driver Dieter Röscheisen says once the new tires are on, they provide the needed traction, and the car is noticeably faster. In terms of lap times, that means 18 seconds less for 1,900 meters on the wet handling track. The cars are not only faster, but safer too. The traction gives more directional control to the front axle, and the wheels don't lock up when the driver hits the brakes. It makes an enormous difference. Now the handling is much quicker and more responsive. There's a margin for safety that wasn't there before. Good tires put the fun back in driving. Many vintage car owners only head out in nice weather, if at all. Sometimes their tires are years old. Then if they take part in a rally or classic car event and it rains, it's a disaster waiting to happen. All too often, the driver only starts thinking about what should have been done after the car's in a ditch. To make sure that doesn't happen, Porsche recommends new tires every 6 or 7 years, no matter how much tread they have. Even with vintage cars, safety is the bottom line.